Greetings, Rajee Narinesingh here. Welcome to my Trindian mukbang session. Well, you know what I mean by Trindian, right? Mm. Well, what I mean is that in the country island of Trinidad and Tobago, there happens to be a very large population of people that are of East Indian descent. My father actually happened to be one of those people. What happened is that in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the British needed people to work because slavery had ended. And so a lot of these East Indians were offered an opportunity to come over to Trinidad to work in the sugarcane fields. And actually, over a span of about 70 years, 147,596 East Indian people left India, their homeland, to go to Trinidad for a better life. Many of these people were, hardworking people with pride. They had great pride. And many of them held on to the traditions and customs of India. Now, I remember going to Trinidad growing up with my dad and, my grandmother, that generation, they were still actually speaking like broken Hindi amongst each other. They'd always speak it when they didn't want me to know what they were saying. But then with my father's generation on down, it's kind of weaned off. I mean, English is the national language of Trinidad, but Hindi was spoken amongst the a lot of the East Indian people there, and so anyway, because of the large population of East Indians that went to Trinidad, and actually to tell you, the largest group in Trinidad happens to be East Indians, people of East Indian descent, when you're talking about the population. And then second would be people of African descent. And then, of course, there's Trinidadian Chinese, and there's Trinidadian whites, and Trinidadian Hispanics. But the third group would be the mixed group, people of mixed ethnicity, like Indian and black, or Chinese and Indian, or black and Chinese. It's the mixture of people, which always happens, honey, when it comes to people coming together. Things start to happen, and then you get beautiful mixed people like me. Let me stop. So anyway, what took place because of this is a fusion of cultures. So it happened with music. In Trinidad, there's a music called chutney music, which is a blend of East Indian music and West Indian music, with the African beats put together. And it's called chutney. And boy, that music is, I danced to some chutney, honey. So yeah, and it's also happened with food. Now, a lot of the Indians in Trinidad have really held on to the traditions, especially when it comes to like marriage and births and deaths. Like if they're Hindu, the Hindu tradition is held up high. I mean, it's like practiced when it comes to those things. Oh my God, Hindu weddings are beautiful. I went to my cousin's wedding, and when I tell you, it's a week long, different ceremonies every day, and just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So my father comes from a Hindu family, but there are also East Indians that left India that were Muslim. And what's funny is the British, what they did was they took the East Indians that were Muslim, and they took them to the north end of the island. And the East Indians that were Hindu, they took to the central and southern end of the island. Because, especially at that time, the Hindus and Muslims were not getting along. So Okay, so back to the whole thing of the fusion of East Indian and West Indian. Well, it happened in the food. Now, a lot of the food from Trinidad definitely has an East Indian core to it. Like, like for instance, this, which I'm going to open up for you and show you, this delicious roti. Roti is basically a flat bread. It's an Indian flatbread. And what happens, this particular type is, oh, it's so good. It's called dal puri. And what it is um, grinded chickpeas is put inside the dough. And so when you eat it, when you break it apart, you're going to also get the grinded chickpeas. Delicious. And then I got some pylori. Now this is fried dough basically, and it comes with chutney. Now chutney is definitely an Indian thing, where it's a mix of either vegetables or fruits mixed with vinegar and sugar and other spices, and it's used as a condiment basically. So this usually, what you do with the pylori is you take up the ball and you dip it in the chutney. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. This is so good. Mm. Now, they have different types. There's mango chutney, tamarind chutney. I mean, all sorts of different chutneys. But it's used as a condiment. Now, this is a popular street food of Trinidad. It's called doubles, and basically it's two jarras, which is like a fried bread, flatbread, fried, and inside is curry chana. And curry chana is like a spicy chickpeas. It's with different spices curried in it. And let me tell you, delicious. Oh, now, if you're a vegetarian, this is like so good because it's you don't miss the meat at all. Huh. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. This chickpeas is so good because of the spices, and the curry. Mm. Okay. Now, all of this basically has an Indian origin. The Indians that came, which would be like, in my case, like my great great grandparents that left India and went to Trinidad, and sometimes even with great great great, because we're talking like the early 1900s. Um, so they bought, these wonderful recipes, and then what has happened over time is, you use what you have, like the ingredients that you have access to. So, for instance, like with Trinidad curry, it's usually just a brown type curry. Whereas, like with the Indian curries from India, you get all different colors. There's the brown, there's the green, there's the um, yellow. The different colors, reddish ones. But it's a standard type of curry with Trinidad curry, and I love it. And I gotta tell you, I love Indian food from India, but I think I have like a special thing with Indian food from Trinidad because I grew up on it. So I'm going to take the roti. I took a piece of roti and I'm dipping it in the curry. This is actually, I didn't feel like eating meat today, but this is the curry from Curry Goat. Mmm, 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 mmm. This is so good. Mmm. Yeah, yeah. You could eat curry goat, um, this curry chicken, curry beef, curry duck. I mean, you can curry just about anything. Mmm. Mmm. See, I grew up on this food. And boy, do I crave it from time to time, you know? Yeah, so... Oh, God, this is so good. Mm. I'm having another pylori. Yeah, I got this from a restaurant. Here in South Florida. It's called Elsie's Roti Shop. And they sell authentic Trinidadian Indian food. And actually, I cheated a little bit. Because next door to Elsie's Roti Shop is the Jamaican patty place. I know I'm doing a Trindian mukbang, but those Jamaican patties smelled so good when I was walking out. I had to get one. This is the beef Jamaican patty. Oh my God, and I got the spicy one. Ah. Mmm. 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 Oh my God, this is so good. Mm. I like Jamaican food too. I'd never go to Jamaica though. I want to live. Oh, you all know what I'm talking about. And honey, I've had a few Jamaican boyfriends, honey, but you know, hypocrisy. One thing behind closed doors, another thing in the public. I would not risk my life going there, but honey, the food is good. I love their jerk chicken and jerk pork. And oh God, the patty. Mm, 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 mm. See the beef? Mm, mm, mm. Mm. So good. Yeah. So growing up, I used to go to Trinidad a lot. Now I got my Sprite. I can't eat a meal without a Sprite, honey. Oh my God. Mm. Mm. So yeah, I used to go to Trinidad growing up a lot. My parents would take us on vacation there every couple years. You know, the different villages, like the village that my grandmother lived in, predominantly East Indian people. And you'd ride through the villages, and a lot of them were Hindus, so you had like the Hindu temples, the little temples in front of the house, and you see the prayer flags and everything. Yeah, so it's just an interesting culture, interesting blend. And it's amazing how, like, when you look at different cultures around the world and how people moved and it kind of blended. Like another example of that would be like in Argentina. Like in the late, I think, early 1900s, there was an influx of Italians. I think over 100,000. So a lot of Argentinians actually have Italian, like, great grandmothers and grandfathers. But so now, anyway, I said, you know, that you can eat pretty much all sorts of curry, like curry chicken, curry goat, curry beef. I got curry crab. Now, I've eaten a lot of crab. Oh my God. Mm. Crab made in different ways. But when I tell you the best way to me to eat curry is, crab, I should say, is to eat it curried. Mm. The way the, mm, mm, the way the, now look at that crab meat. And then with the curry, mmm, mmm, this is so good. Mm, mm, delicious. I mean, it's a pain in the butt to eat crab because you know you gotta break the shell and everything. But when I tell you, mm, when you get to that crab meat, you taste the curry, how it's like soaked into the meat. It is just so good. Mm. Yeah. So you know, it's funny. Like I don't know. When I talk to people, a lot of people don't know about like that whole thing with Trinidad and like it's in the whole influx of East Indians that went there. And oh, another place too, Guyana. That's another place that got a very large influx. Mm. Oh, God, this is so good. So let's see, we're going to have a little bit more of the doubles. Now there's a version of this in India. I can't remember what it's called, but you know, this is like a spin-off. Then this is how it kind of like became in Trinidad. And it's the most popular street food in Trinidad. It's like fast food. You see double stands all over the place in Trinidad. Mm. 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 So good. Mm. Mm. Drop it there. Gotta be careful. I'm in my bedroom, honey. But there's nothing like being comfy when you're chowing down. That whole thing is sitting at the table. I want to be comfortable in my room with the TV playing and we just grubbing tough. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh God, I'm sorry. This is so good. Yeah, so I grew up on this, and let me tell you, I crave it. Like every now and then, I'll just get like that strong craving. And you know, when my mom, you know, is American. When she married my dad, she went over to Trinidad. My grandmother, my dad's mom, my mom's a good cook anyway, so she taught her how to make a lot of the Indian dishes, and my mom got really good. Actually, I remember like different people would come over, friends of my dad from Indian friends, and they'd say, "Oh my God, you know, you cook just like, you know, an Indian woman, like just like a Trinidadian Indian woman," because my mom really, she got the knack of it. I just dipped some of the roti, the flatbread roti with the goat, the goat curry gravy. Oh, mm, so good. Oh my God. pylori, and I'm dipping it in the chutney. Mm. Now with the pylori, when you put it in your mouth, there's like a sponginess, you know, that's a texture. And when I tell you, you know, after you dipped it in the chutney and you put the pylori, oh my God, so good. I haven't been back to Trinidad in many years. I don't know. You know, my family, they all know me and my life and all of that. And they see me on TV over there and stuff. But a few years ago, one of my cousins called me because his daughter was getting married and he wanted me to come for the wedding. And actually, it's the same cousin that I went to his wedding many years ago. And I told him, I said, are you sure? I said, do you think Trinidad is really ready for me, you know? So he was like, come now, you're not going to know unless you come. And I said, I don't know. I would love to come. But I just don't know. I just don't know. You know, the ironic thing is, like, at Indian weddings, a lot of times, they will get a transvestite, like a guy to dress up as a girl and perform. So, you know, it's kind of interesting, but maybe one day I'll go back. I just remember the good times. I had some good times there, you know. But at least I can eat the food. Oh. Mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. At least I can eat the delicious food. So, you would be doing yourself a real disservice if you did not find an Indian restaurant near you. Maybe you can even find a Trinidad Indian restaurant. That would be even better. And treat yourself to some delicious Indian food. Mm. And if you come out and you smell some Jamaican patties cooking next door, definitely stop and at least get one, because they're good too. Mm. Mm. Well, don't forget to check out my Rajee Mukbang YouTube channel. There's the Rajee Narinesingh, I know it's long, YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and you just search Rajee, I should pop up. Check me out. I have some interesting videos. Until then, here's the good eating. Mm, 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 mm.